At 6:03 a.m., a brand new electric car rolls off a Chinese assembly line. It is polished, charged, inspected, and ready for a customer. The customer is the only part this factory cannot manufacture. So the car waits under white lights beside an empty loading lane. Then another identical car rolls in behind it. Then another. Very quickly, the problem stops looking like one car. It starts looking like a pattern. China became rich by making that pattern look effortless. Build faster, build cheaper, build at a scale nobody else can match. For years, that formula looked almost unstoppable. The world wanted more goods, and China was happy to make them. Now the machine is still strong, but the question has changed. The question is not whether China can produce. The question is who can absorb what it produces. To understand that, we need to see how the machine was built. China did not rise because of one cheap product or one lucky decade. It rose by turning production into a national habit. Roads, ports, power grids, rail lines, and industrial parks made movement cheap. Local officials were rewarded for visible growth. Banks preferred lending to things that could be built and counted. Factories attracted suppliers. Suppliers attracted more factories. Each successful cluster made the next one easier to build. The result was not just low cost, it was speed. A factory could find parts nearby, hire workers fast, and ship at scale. That speed made China the workshop of the modern world. It also created a powerful instinct. When in doubt, build more capacity. If margins fall, chase volume. If demand slows, cut prices. If one sector weakens, move to another. That instinct helped China dominate solar panels, batteries, and electric vehicles. In electric cars especially, the pace has been brutal. Dozens of brands competed inside one giant market. Competition pushed prices down and innovation forward at the same time. Batteries improved. Software improved. Supply chains tightened. Production costs fell. Consumers got more features for less money. It looked like industrial magic. But magic at scale always creates a shadow. When every company is told to run faster, somebody reaches the finish line carrying too much inventory. Factories can make more cars than the market can comfortably absorb. Warehouses fill quietly before headlines notice. Profit shrinks before output does. And once a production ecosystem becomes large enough, stopping is painful. A factory is never just a factory. It is wages, suppliers, truckers, machine makers, battery plants, and local tax revenue. If the line slows, the pressure spreads outward. So the easiest answer is often the oldest answer. Make more and hope the market catches up. But there is another problem hiding behind the factory gate. Chinese households do not spend like American households. That is not because Chinese consumers dislike buying things. It is because the system has long made saving feel safer than spending. Families worry about education. They worry about healthcare. They worry about housing costs and old age. When people are unsure, they save. When many households save at once, demand grows more slowly than supply. That imbalance is easy to ignore during boom years. It becomes impossible to ignore when factories keep expanding anyway. China has money in the system. What it does not always have is enough confidence flowing to households. A rich factory sector does not automatically create a carefree consumer class. That is the paradox at the heart of this story. The country that can make almost anything still struggles with who should buy everything. For a long time, another engine helped cover that tension. Property. Housing construction pulled steel, cement, glass, appliances, and labor into one giant machine. Land sales gave local governments cash. Developers kept borrowing because prices kept rising. Households treated apartments as both shelter and savings. Building apartments supported growth even when consumption was weak. But property could not stay the national shock absorber forever. When the real estate boom lost momentum, several hidden supports weakened at once. Local governments had less easy money. Developers became more fragile. Households felt less wealthy. Caution deepened. Saving looked smarter. Spending looked less urgent. That left the manufacturing machine facing a familiar temptation. If domestic demand is soft, send more goods abroad. Exports are not a side note in this story. They are the release valve. Extra batteries can be shipped. Extra solar panels can be shipped. Extra electric vehicles can be shipped. And when China exports at scale, the rest of the world feels it. Some countries welcome cheaper green technology. Consumers like affordable cars, batteries, and electronics. Climate goals also get easier when clean technology gets cheaper. But foreign governments do not see only lower prices. They also see industries at risk. They see local factories struggling to compete. They see supply chains concentrating in one country. And they see strategic dependence growing quietly inside everyday products. That is why the same shipment can look like relief to a consumer and threat to a policymaker. So the world responds with tariffs, investigations, and industrial policy. From China's point of view, that can look unfair. Chinese firms spent years becoming faster, denser, and more efficient. Why should success be punished? From Washington, Brussels, or New Delhi, the answer looks different. A country that can sell the future cheaply can also hollow out competitors before they mature. This is where the usual internet arguments go wrong. One side says China is collapsing. The other side says China is unstoppable. Both stories are too simple. China is not weak in the way its critics hope. Its factories remain formidable. Its engineers learn fast. Its infrastructure is still an enormous advantage. Its industrial coordination can move whole sectors at once. But China is not comfortable in the way its admirers sometimes imply. Prices are under pressure. Profits are under pressure. Local finances are under pressure. Households remain cautious. And external markets are becoming more political. In other words, the machine still works. It just no longer works as smoothly as before. The deeper problem is not that China forgot how to produce. The deeper problem is that production became the easiest answer to too many different questions. Need jobs? Build. Need local revenue? Build. Need growth? Build. Need a new strategic industry? Build even more. That strategy created astonishing capabilities. It also created a habit. And habits keep moving even after conditions change. So what would changing the model actually mean? It would mean giving households a larger role in growth. That sounds abstract, but it is really about security. If families feel safer, they spend more freely. If spending rises, growth relies less on constantly adding capacity. If reliance on exports falls, trade tensions cool. If profits stabilize, companies compete on quality rather than just survival. None of that is easy. It means shifting resources, incentives, and political comfort. It means accepting slower construction in exchange for steadier consumption. It means helping households feel protected enough to stop hoarding tomorrow. And it means teaching a production machine not to answer every slowdown by producing harder. China can clearly build the future. The harder question is whether it can rebalance the future. Can a system designed to manufacture abundance also manufacture confidence? Can the country that mastered supply strengthen demand without losing momentum? Can factories stay strong while households become bolder? Those are not small adjustments. They are a rewrite of the growth story that made China powerful in the first place. That is why this story matters far beyond China. The global price of cars, batteries, and clean technology depends on it. The future of trade politics depends on it. The shape of industrial competition depends on it. And somewhere back on that assembly line, the first car is still waiting. Not because China forgot how to make it, but because making is only half the story.